Assalamualaikum and good evening. I bet to Sir Izwan and also all of the student of BCP. Okay, today our group 2 will present the tabletop exercise meeting, and this is the list of our group members and student ID. So the selected hospital that we have select is Hospital Sultan Ismail Petra, or in short HSIP, located in Kuala Krai, Kelantan. Okay. So before we start, I will introduce the introduction. I will introduce the role for each of our members. For the first one, me, Dr. Nazwan, as a hospital director. Dr. Fatimah will be the head of Department of Emergency and Trauma Unit Department, ETD. Dr. Lee will be the incident commander. Dr. Naja will be the IT manager. Dr. Fitri will be the corporate communication unit or public relation. Dr. Balkis will be the emergency response. Dr. Amanda will be the human resource manager. Dr. Nisa will be the head of the asset unit. Dr. Shida will be the head of finance and account unit. Dr. Adwa will be the logistic officer. Okay, this is the description of situation. I will explain a little bit. So Kelantan is located in this coast peninsula Malaysia. So the Kelantan have exposed to high rainfall during the monsoon season during November to January. In December 2009, Kelantan was hit by flood up to level 2 to 5 meters. And the building that located on the ground floor have flooded because the rain continuously ran for 3 days non-stop. And this non-stop rain also increased the level of water of Sungai Pahi and Sungai Lebih. So our hospital HSIP located only 3 kilometers from the Sungai Pahi and Sungai Lebih. And the ground floor of our hospital, which is emergency and trauma department, that located the reception, pharmacy, and ambulance parking area, have affected by the flood. So this is the map, our hospital, and between our hospital and also the river located nearby the hospital. On the left is Sungai Lebih, and the bottom of the picture is Sungai Pahi. So the description of situation at 2:28 p.m., one of our medical attendant of the emergency and trauma department has called the head of department, stated that the water have entered the ETD, and the ETD has immediately called director and to inform, and the director have set up a meeting to conduct recovery planning. So without any further ado, we will continue with our tabletop exercise. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you. Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to say thank you for coming to our meeting today. Even though this meeting was unplanned, but everyone is able to come. So thanks to the logistic team led by Dr. Adwa, this bilik gerakan will be used, bilik gerakan or command center will be used as the center to give and collect information regarding the accident happened, which is flood. So in this case, now is 8:24 p.m. Of 11 December 29. I, Dr. Nazwan, as the Director of Hospital Sultan Ismail Petra, announced the declaration of emergency of this hospital. Okay. In this meeting, we will discuss and take action on the situation based on the continuity of operation plan that that HSIP has developed. So by using this plan, our hospital can continuously achieve the vision and mission and the critical business function of our hospital will be running smoothly. So I hope everyone in this meeting will give full cooperation and take this matter seriously lah. Because this involves the integrity of the hospital as well as the safety and health of our staff and patient. So I will pass to the incident commander to continue with this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nazwan. So good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Lee, the incident commander for this emergency situation. So as we all know, our hospital now is hit by the flood, and it's affected some of our major operation. So before we can continue for further discussion, can I have an update on the current situation and also the details on the damage assessment? Anyone?
Yes. According to the information received by the emergency controller at the ETD, it was found that water had entered the internal area of the ETD. The flood water entered the ETD entrance area starting at 2:28 p.m. where an ETD staff noticed the incident. So due to that, I have instructed the emergency response team to transfer patient, equipment, staff to another department. And I was informed that the pediatric department had vacated the Wat Mawa to receive the transfer patient. And the staff also were transferred to Wat Mawa to continue the operation there. Um, the equipment also, such as the breathing equipment system and medical storage, was successful rescue. Unfortunately, there is some equipment and medicine that could not be saved. So I asked for help from the logistic department to inform the pediatric department to provide the necessary equipment and ask help from our partner hospital to provide the medicine. Also, um, I have been told that the bomber has conducted a search and rescue to inspect the hospital area and ensure that no patient and staff are stranded in the area.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Balkis, for the update. So now let's move on with the public relation manager. Have you notified all of our stakeholders and contacted any other related personnel?
Yes, Dr. Lee. For the notification process, I already informed the Kelantan Head of Health Director regarding the situation that had occurred at our hospital. And since we need to stop receiving any patient, I already make an unofficial announcement through our social media to inform them about our current situation and provide them a various choice of alternative treatment place, which is the nearest hospital in our area, such as Hospital Pakar, Polycran, Hospital Tanah Merah, and Hospital Macam. And regarding the announcement, Dr. Nazwan, actually, I want your permission to make an official statement on our website stating that HSIT will not be operating until we fully recover from this disaster. Can you grant it,
Oh,
Doctor?
yeah, okay. Yes, yes. All right. You have my permission. I will sign the letter and approve the release of the official statement, and you can notify the public as soon as possible. Okay.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Fitri, for your update. But please make sure that all of our stakeholders are well informed for our current situation as soon as possible. And then what about the emergency and trauma department? How far is your department affected by the flood?
So overall, there were found around 25 patients and 30 staff in the emergency and trauma department during the occurrence of the flood disaster. And several types of equipment were affected by the flood, such as the patient beds and mattress. Dr. Nisa, can your department provide around 25 new beds for my department? And since some of the beds were affected by the disaster, does emergency and trauma department need new bed to ensure that all the patients were able to get the best possible treatment in line with the vision and mission of our hospital? And to Dr. Adwa, can you please prepare a temporary ward on the other level of this hospital? This is because the patient from the emergency and trauma unit department need to be moved to other place since the current ward was affected by the disaster.
Okay, Dr. Fatima, for your information, I have checked the inventory of this hospital. We have enough beds to use and will be taken to a new ward, which is Wat Mawa. What about you, Dr. Adwa?
Okay, I've already checked what malware, and I will vacate the ward for the temporary placement of the patients from the emergency and trauma department. And the ward is well equipped with lot of medical supplies and also equipment for the workers and also the patients.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fatima, for your update. So basically, those who are involved, please try your best to assist the EDD department as their operation is quite critical during the flood. So come back to Logistic Officer, Dr. Adwa. Can you update us on the disruption on the flood towards our hospital?
Okay, based on the current situation, the water level has rise to almost 4 meters, and therefore the electricity supply at the ground floor needs to be cut off for temporarily. It's a good thing that the HSIP building is well designed because each floor has an individual circuit breaker. So the other floor uh, will still have electricity when the electric supply at the ground floor was cut off.
Yes, exactly. In addition, there are numbers of patients in the Department of Emergency and Trauma who use some equipment that relies on electronic resources. But due to the outage of power supply, the equipment cannot be used, and some of it was also broken due to the disaster. And unfortunately, there is no supporter equipment on the others floor.
Okay, all right, noted. With thanks, Dr. Adwa. Since the equipment at the ground floor is not functionable due to the electric cut-off, Dr. Balkis, can you arrange the transfer of our patient to our partner hospital?
Sure, Dr. Lee. I will take care of it. The issue now is it was found that the parking lot area was flooded. The ambulance park in the area could not be moved. We emphasize the safety of ambulance drivers and our staff. According to the logistics department, they have applied for assistance from the bomber and APM for the process of transferring critical patient to the Hospital Pakar Kuala Krai, Hospital Tanah Merah and Hospital Machang. Due to the vehicle not be able to enter the hospital area, so we ask bomber and APM to use the boat to transport the patient to the safe area before the patient is sent to the hospital that has been stated previously.
Okay, cool. Good job, Dr. Balkis, for your effort. So I hope that all of our patients will receive their treatment on time. Since the reception area is also affected due to the flood, may I know whether all the data in the EDD is still available for us to access?
Yeah, so luckily, a fast response has been made by the staff in the emergency and trauma department. Therefore, several essential documents regarding with the information of patients are able to be saved, while some of others documents are affected by the flood.
Thanks to the
Wait, sorry, sorry to
yeah.
interrupt, Dr. Najah. Sorry. I want to add some point on Balkis, Dr. Balkis. Make sure that according to our COP document, we have stated the recovery time operation that to be recovery time objective is 1 hour, between 1 hour, 1 days. I hope that the patient can be transferred to the nearby hospital quickly. Okay, thank you. Continue with Dr. Najah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nazwan. Okay, regarding the information technology, thanks to Dr. Nazwan for the idea of having for HSIP is equipped with a backup database which is located in the server. So we don't have to worry regarding the loss of the data due to the flood, as the server room is located on the top floor. Other than that, we also have an online server which secure our data, which we already collaborate with Telecom Malaysia.
Okay. Thank you. And noted with thanks for the Dr. Fatima and good job for the IT department. So please continue to make sure that all the info is well secured and accessible at all times, as all of our doctors are relying on the patient's medical prescriptions to prescribe the medicine and also the treatment needed by all the patients. So moving on to financial issues, may I know the total loss in terms of money as we hit by the flood?
As for now, the estimated loss due to the flood is 20,000 according to Bomber. But we still don't know the exact amount of loss and still need to investigate more details on the accident sites. And I will cooperate with Bomber and asset team, Dr. Nisa, to evaluate the actual loss after the flood issue.
Alright, Dr. Shida, I will give my full cooperation to you. I assume that the actual amount of loss will be higher than the estimate value as there are many sophisticated and heavy medical equipment from emergency and trauma department. This equipment cannot be moved and transferred during the flood easily as they require special care and careful lifting.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Shida and Dr. Nisa, for the information. As for now, I think we will use the hospital fund more towards the rescue operation. And I, as the director, will ask the Ministry of Health and also the Kelantan District Health Office for additional funds and support. Okay.
Okay, so everyone, since our director, which is Dr. Nazwan, has declared this emergency, our rescue process has initiated. So based on the procedure stated in the BCM document that has been prepared, we will now move on onto the phase 2 of our continuity operation plan, which is the plan activation during the disaster occurrence. Okay, so basically in this phase, we will continue our operation using our new ward, which is the Wat Mawa, as mentioned just now. So those operations which are affected by the flood and cannot be moved to our partner hospital will be carried out at this ward. So as previously mentioned in our business continuity plan, the Wat Mawa will be used as our temporary ward. So in the case of an emergency situation, so Dr. Adwa, can you notify the person in charge for the Wat Mawa regarding the ongoing situation and to activate our continuity plan?
Yes, definitely. I've actually already notified the person in charge of the Wat Mawar about our current situation. And the ward is actually ready to be used as a temporary ward, and all the needed preparations have been made, such as the beds and also the needed equipments for the patients.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adwa, for arranging it. So come back to Dr. Nisa as the asset manager. Can you please prepare a checklist and also make sure that all the necessities are enough to support the need based on the number of patients reported by the ETD. And then other than that, can you make sure the food and also the medical supplies are not disrupted by the flood?
Okay, Dr. Lee, I will prepare the checklist and ensure all the necessities, including the beds, bed sheets, pillow, and other are enough. Besides that, I will contact our vendor, and if possible, I will try to ask help from Bomber to carry food supplies to our hospital in packaging to ensure the food is clean to eat.
Okay. Since now the new ward is open, which is Wat Mawa, right? So I think there is the need to place a staff in Wat Mawa. And Dr. Amanda, you as a human resource manager, do you have any plan on this?
Sorry. Yes, a plan has been created in order to combat the lack of staff members. Currently, there are approximately around 30 staff, including doctors, medical assistants, and nurses, that are assigned to handle the ETD center. So, they will be instructed to move to Ward Mawar to help lessen the burden of opening a new ward. This includes handling the transferring of patients and ensuring the medical needs are being attended to. Other than that, a new working schedule will be prepared since quite a number of staff are unable to come to the hospital due to the roads being blocked by the flood. In a way, this will affect the smoothness of operations due to lack of staff. However, a shift rotation system will be introduced to make up for the lack of staff. Rotational shift work is a scheduling system, as we all know, where employees move through a cycle of working the day shift, the night shift, and any swing shift that may be necessary.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Amanda, for your hard work, and that's a very detailed report. Since the Human Resource Department has already assigned the staff to our new ward, Dr. Nisa, can you ensure all the equipment in the Ward Mawa is functioning? And for Dr. Najah, as the manager for the IT department, can I ask you to make sure that the database from the ETD is recovered and is accessible at the new ward as soon as possible so that our operation is not affected. But before that, because now there's a worsen, because there's the situation is becoming worse due to the continued heavy downfall. So, may I know the logistic, Dr. Adwa?
Yes, Dr. Lee.
For that, because our supply, such as our pharmaceutical items, will be flooded in the helipad. Is there any mode of transportation that you can contact in order to look for the alternative?
For now, the only alternative we can take is the rescue team, such as the bomba and APM and so on, because due to the flood situation, it's hard for us to make the transportation, for us to organize the transportation ourselves. Yeah.
So what you mean is that we will look, you will look for the bomba and ask them to use boat maybe, or is there e-sport? Okay, so we are going to use boat for the logistic and also the transportation of the medical supplies and also for transporting the patient. Is that am I correct?
Yes.
I think I would like to at some point.
Yes.
I think because of the our hospital has become an island, so I think we move the patient to the upper floor of the hospital and wait for maybe for the water from island to become to decrease a little bit for the helipad and helicopter and also the boat can enter our hospital and take the critical patient to nearby hospital. How about that logistic?
Yes, I totally agree because I think that's a very good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so if that's the case, so we carry on. Dr. Lisa.
All right, Dr. Lee, I will ask the technician on duty to check the accessibility of the equipment, and I will ensure the proper installation of the equipment has been made so that the equipment is well functioning.
Okay, Dr. Lee, for the database, I will take note on the issue. I will make sure that all of the data from the emergency and trauma department are recovered, and I do believe that all the data is also stored in our cloud storage. And after that, I will pass it to the staff that are in charge in the new ward. Other than that, I will also coordinate 3 computers in the new ward so that the staff are able to access our database and get all the details about the patient in the new ward.
Okay, so all right, thank you for that. And other than that, actually, I also have received some complaints from our nurses as they are also having some communication problems. as our com system is now down due to the flood. Public Relation Manager, Dr. Fitri, is there any possible solution for this problem?
Okay, Dr. Lee. In order to overcome these issues, I suggest that we use walkie-talkie as a communication equipment due to loss of communication problems. This is because by using the walkie-talkie, we can set the frequency to a certain frequency that only our staff use that frequency, which is 158.79. So that will be able to will make our staff able to communicate between them easily, and also the orders from bilik gerakan also will be delivered quickly. That's all.
Okay, good job, Dr. Fitri, for that. Before I forget, have you updated the public regarding the temporary closure for our hospital? And also, all the new patients need to be transferred or referred to the hospital Kuala Krai or other nearby hospital?
Yes, doctor. I already notify all of our stakeholders and the public that this hospital will stop operating normally because of the flood. And I also recommend a new patient to be treated at the nearby hospital. For your information, doctor, the official statement had been released 1 day after I got the permission from our director. Besides that, Pejabat Kesihatan Kelantan and Ministry of Health already acknowledged our current situation. Therefore, they will provide a support team to help us, and if needed. Yes.
Okay, noted for that. And if that's the case, now let's move on to the fresh theory, which is the alternate site operation.
Okay. So for the alternate site operation, Dr. Amanda, can you please enlighten us on the regarding the critical business function that are involved in the emergency and trauma department, and please also include the plan that you will be used to recover the critical business function in the new ward.
Okay, I will forward an email containing the list of critical business functions to everyone present in this meeting room. So in short, there are 4 critical business functions that must be maintained and pay more attention to. This includes patients who require close monitoring. This involves the optimization of the patient's hemodynamic condition, ventilation, temperature, nutrition, and metabolism. Second would be patients who face lung issues. This may require that they are put on ventilator support to help them breathe normally. The third will be patients with cardiac arrest. The ETD ensures that patients suffering from heart problems will get the monitoring they require. And last but not least, we have to pay attention to patients with serious infections. These viral infections may or may not be contagious, but the priority is to have them contained and eliminated from the patient's body at the earliest. This will also avoid the contagious disease from spreading. So, all the necessary and required equipment have been transferred to the new Ward Mawa, together with the respective patients.
Okay, noted, Dr. Amanda. Thank you, thank you. I think we need to make sure this we need to make sure our critical business function is not disrupted in the new ward, and the work can be run as usual. Okay.
Dr. Amanda, provided this flood will continue and maintain for a few days, how will our own nurses and also other staff who are working for overtime to recover from this event?
Alright, let's see. Although we have already implemented a shift rotation system, there might be instances where the nurses are required to work overtime as well. This depends on the current situation and if there are needs for extra staff during critical work operations. However, worry not, as the workers will receive overtime pay plus equal time off for each hour worked on certain agreed days. such as public holidays. These incentives will also be given in the form of money and also rewards. Our department has also informed the HR of nearby hospitals in case of emergencies, where we will need even more temporary staff for our hospital.
Okay, good job for that, and please carry on with the effort. We need to maintain a good communication and also a good relationship with other nearby hospital, as we need their assistance, especially during this emergency period.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Bal, can I know the latest updated situation regarding the flood in the emergency and trauma department in our hospital?
Sure, Dr. Nazwan. I was told by the emergency controller stating that the flood was receding. Water is no longer in the ETD and the parking areas. And the road condition due to the flood have also improved to connect the hospital and the outsider. Now I am waiting for an update from the logistic department and also from asset manager about the situation in ETD. If the situation is moving safe and clean, then the process of relocating the patient, equipment and staff will be done and the operation will run as usual.
Okay, so before we continue, suddenly now there is a lacking of staff due to the lacking of the shift rotation. And then because of the extensive working time, some of them are having a fatigue and also having a post-traumatic, because this is a very serious situation, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as we all know. And because now they are also, because they are away from their family, so they might be how to say, their moral is down. So is there anyone, maybe there is a maybe some suggestion on how can we boost up the morale for our workers, our co-workers, the nurses and also the doctors, so that they can pay more attention for conducting the job? Any suggestion?
I think I want to add. I can. I think I have received some call, and I already transferred the call to the human resource department from the many the NGO, non-government organization, about they want to help in the morale of our patient. So also in our hospital we have the what we call that, the specialist in the mental health from the, which is I think Dr. Aisha kot nama dia. Sorry. They can help to maintain and recover the mental health issue of our patient lah. Okay. Any suggestion? Any other suggestion maybe?
Maybe from HR, any suggestion? Since these are some of the human resources problem, is there any idea for this?
Okay. Maybe we can, for the staff that have their moral down because they miss their family, we can make appointments when they are not on their shift to meet Dr. Aisha and to talk about what they are feeling inside. And we can also give them extra time for those who are fatigued and tired to call their family and provide an internet line for them to contact their family as well to update about their well-being.
Talking to this, maybe Dr. Naja, since you are the IT manager, do you think that it's available for us to establish internet connection for them for video call with their family members?
Due to the flood, the internet connection in this hospital is not disrupted. So I think that they are available to make a video call with their families.
Okay, so for that, I think if there's any update for that, then you come back and update us lah for the internet connection. All right.
Okay, I will update it.
Okay, so since the flood actually has resided, as mentioned just now, so Dr. Adwa, can you update us actually on the current situation inside the ETD? Any residual left by the flood or any critical situation which is within the ward?
For now, based on our observation, the situation is looking good and it's actually getting better. But just to be safe, the ward will be inspected by the technician to ensure there is no water residue in the area to avoid any any unwanted events such as short circuit and so on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. That's very good. I think for all the assets in the ETD, Dr. Nisa, can you please prepare a list on which asset which is still functionable and also a list for those which are already broken because I think it is very important as we need to prepare all this equipment needed to resume this operation of our ETD watch. And also after you prepare the list, can you contact the Ministry of Health to request for the new equipment in order to replace those which are broken during the flood?
Dr. Lee, in addition, I have already identified that the ETD ward has two equipment failures, which are patient monitor and ventilators. Then for the bed, there are not enough beds for ETD, and I already contact the Ministry of Health, and they will send a new one.
Okay, I see. Since now most of the problem it's now we can consider it as settled. So I think we can actually reopen our ETD ward. And but before that, I want to consult Dr. Fatima. Do you think the ETD, which is as you are the head of department, whether it can proceed with resuming its operation, or is there anything that we need to do before we conduct the resuming operation?
Okay, so further inspection will be conducted in the wards of emergency and trauma department for further confirmation about the conditions. And if everything is okay and if it seems fine, like it can start to operate like normal, then I will make an official announcement to all the staff and our hospital director, which is Dr. Nazwan, about the reopening of the ETD, which will be operated normally as usual.
Okay, noted, Dr. Fatima. So for that, actually, Dr. Fitri, can you make sure that can you please how to say inform, right? Inform the public and also our stakeholders on the resuming operation of our ETD one.
All right, doctor. Of course, I will let them know as soon as possible by posting an official statement at our social media and portal. And moreover, I will announce it on the broadcast system so that all of them will know that our hospital has been open and will be operating normally.
Okay, that's great. So, but meanwhile, Dr. Naja, since the IT equipment in the ETD department may be affected by the flood, so can you make sure that it is functionable as usual before we continue the operation, such as the PC is well installed, the software is functionable, and also the database is how to say accessible by all of our staff?
Oh yeah, Dr. Lee, for the IT equipment in emergency and trauma department that were affected due to the flood, the restoration of the database is already completed and it also can be accessed by our staff. While for the PCs that were damaged, I already installed it to the new one so that the department operation can be run smoothly.
If that's the case, can anyone actually tell us all that what is the improvement that we can make, that has been made actually to cater this situation from occurring again in the future?
Okay, Dr. Adwa and I have worked together to install the new features in detecting flood early. And we also update our drainage system.
And I also want to add one more thing, Doctor. I already contact with Department of Irrigation and Drainage of Malaysia to investigate the two rivers, which are Sungai Pahi and Sungai Lebir, that located 3 kilometers from our hospital, so that the control measures can be taken, such as to increase the size of the river or build wall to prevent water from the river to overflow that will cause flood.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Fitri and Dr. Nisa, and also Dr. Adwa for the information. Next, can I have the full financial report on total loss from the finance department? The report will be including all the costs we spent to recover from the day one of the business disruption. This report is needed because I need to update with the Ministry of Health and our hospital financial audit.
All right, noted, Dr. Nazwan. I will prepare a report as soon as possible together with Bomber and Asset Team, Dr. Nisa, to determine the actual losses in detail.
Sorry, Dr. Nazwan,
Okay.
I'm having
Okay.
diarrhea now
Alright.
because of food poisoning.
Okay,
So
okay.
I will leave earlier. All right.
Alright.
Okay. Sorry for this.
Okay, it's okay. So okay, this is very unfortunate. Maybe I think okay. I as the director, I will resume the part. I will be the I will be replacing the Dr. Lee as the incident commander. So I think thank you, Dr. Shida, and please notify me when the financial report is complete.
All right, Doctor.
I would like to ask one question. But
Okay.
should we include the overall cost for overtime in the report as well?
Oh yes, to answer the Dr. Amanda, yes. We need to also include in the report the loss in terms of time. So how many of our staff need to work overtime, and we need to identify the name of each individual staff because the government, the Ministry of Health, will give incentive to them who help in the event of this business disruption. So okay, all right. Since I think the whole operation is coming to an end. Before I declaring the closure of our operation, is there anyone has anything to further discuss or add on to our discussion?
So far, no.
Okay, I think okay. I think now I will proceed with the declaration of procedure. Okay. Alhamdulillah, we achieved our recovery time objective because all the patients have been safely transferred to new ward Mawa, within our time frame in the continuity operation plan. We are within 1 day, 24 hours, and our critical business function back to normal within the recovery time objective, which is in 3 days, not more than 1 week. And Alhamdulillah, uh, I think that's it for our meeting on the conducting of the business continuity management plan into our hospital. I would like to thank all the members of business continuity management because you guys give the full cooperation and support towards this meeting. So now, as the final and closure of this meeting, I, as the no, actually final closure for this meeting, I think we, the Hospital Sultan Ismail Petra HSIP, will continue to operate back to normal operation. Hopefully, there will be no accident in the new upgraded emergency and trauma department ward because all the precaution step has been taken. I think that's all from me. Thank you. We can dismiss now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you
Doctor.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.